Let's go back to yesterday, though. Just as we were getting off the air yesterday, we learned that the Idaho GOP had filed legal action against the Bonneville County GOP in eastern Idaho. The Idaho Republican Party says that they asked the courts to stop the Bonneville County Republican Central Committee from handing out or distributing an election endorsement flyer. What is this flyer about? Well, we'll show you here right now. This is the flyer. It's essentially a sample ballot that has the name of the candidate that the Bonneville group wants you to vote for in each group. They sent these through the mail and they've been handing them out. A point of contention on this flyer, though, the bold text that reads, "The official Republican Party." The Idaho GOP says that the flyer is deceiving and against the party's policy of staying neutral in primary election races. A court filings show that the Idaho GOP is asking a court to issue a temporary restraining order to prevent the Bonneville County Republican Central Committee, the BCRCC, and their chairman, Mark Fuller, from continuing to distribute the flyer, adding that they want to prevent, quote, similar false statements which threaten irreparable harm to voters, candidates, and the electoral process. So the crux of the issue goes as follows. The Idaho GOP argues that the Bonneville County Republican Central Committee, the BCRCC, they're alleging that they violated party bylaws by endorsing candidates in the contested Republican primary election contest for the U.S. Senate, the U.S. House, as well as Idaho Legislature and statewide office elections. Under Idaho law, the Idaho GOP argues that bylaws and Idaho GOP rules are a binding contract on party members, including members of the BCRCC. And there was a complaint filed in court. You can see it there. The highlighted section reads, quote, "Indeed, voters have already started showing up at polling places with the false and misleading flyer, and on information and belief, defendants plan to continue distributing the flyer through the close of voting on Tuesday. Nothing short of judicial intervention can safeguard the rights of plaintiffs and Idaho's candidates and voters," end quotes. And the statement continues on in the court filing to say that the BCRCC and its chairman and most of the members have gone rogue, end quote. In a post on their official Facebook page, the Bonneville County Republican Party calls itself, quote, the official Republican Party in Bonneville County. They wrote this past Wednesday that the group, quote, stands behind the hard work of our volunteers, our candidate recommendations, and the publications that we have sent out. They continue to justify their action further in the Facebook post, writing, quote, it's important that Republican voters are informed and able to choose the best nominees to represent the party platform in the upcoming November election. Voters won't get a straight story from liberals in the media, and they won't get a straight story from the mountains of biased campaign literature either. If you want to know who the best conservative Republican candidates are, your best source is the party itself, end quote. And the party again shared their candidate suggestion flyer in the comments of that post. Again, the makeshift ballot that they put out. They had posted that right below that, just for clarification. Well, today I reached out to the Bonneville County Republican Party and the Idaho GOP for interview requests. We wanted to talk to them about what's going on, their thoughts on it. Well, the Idaho GOP was unable to add further comment today, they tell us. We're hoping to circle back soon. The Bonneville County Republican Party, meanwhile, has not responded to our request. So if you're watching here at 5, we'd love to talk to you. Please email us back. Now, to recap the entire thing here, the Idaho Republican Party is claiming that the Bonneville County Republican Party is breaking state party rules by endorsing Republican candidates in the contested party election. The argument is that the state party rules are a contract, and the Bonneville County Republican Party is breaking that contract by violating party rules. With the election coming up on Tuesday, we will see what happens in the short term. We know that the Idaho GOP wants to stop the Bonneville County group from handing out more flyers, which are problematic in their view. Will they, though? It is wait and see. We'll keep you stay tuned to this. It is a very quickly developing case. We'll stay on topic, though. Oh, boy. 4 days until the May 2022 Idaho primary election, May 17th, this coming Tuesday. Circle it there. And we're getting a lot of questions leading into Election Day, some common questions over the last few days. So let's dive into some popular questions. And the first one comes from Chuck. Chuck writes, what happens to all the money that the losing candidate collects? It's a really good question, and this actually goes for all candidates after an election, win or lose. What happens to the money? So, when the election ends and there is still money left in a campaign account, there are a few things that can happen. First, The campaign account, it stays open. It just doesn't close after the election's over. It stays open. But if a candidate wants to, they can sit on that money and wait to use it for a future election or a future run for office. You can save it for a later time. If, though, a candidate's looking to get out of politics and that they're really just not interested in keeping the money, they want to get rid of it, there's some things that need to happen. First, all debts that the candidate or the campaign has, they need to be paid off before the money can do anything else. And that has to happen first. Now, if debts are paid off, then a candidate can donate to other campaigns within campaign finance limits, or they can donate funds to a 501c3 or to a political committee. So there you go. Next question for you. Why aren't we seeing any advertisements for Democrats? It's a really good question. You may have noticed here on KTVB, there's been a lot of advertisements in recent days and recent weeks. Haven't seen any Dems. So it's a great question, a great observation. The answer, though, for you is really from a practical standpoint. Here's what I'll tell you. Idaho Democrats have a less competitive primary season with several, almost all, uncontested races on their side of things. Remember, the May primary election is party versus party. The winners of the May primary face off on the November general ballot. So Democrats, Republicans, Libertarians, the Constitutional Party, all of them will have their winners on Tuesday in the primary election, and they will all go on, the winners, to face off in November. So heading into November, there is a better chance that we see some major advertising buys from Idaho Democrats. We'll see. Long story short, though, it's better to save the campaign money for a time that the race is more competitive rather than just paying to get your name out there in a primary where you have no challenger.